Hey everyone, in today's video we are going to take a look at Adonit Snap 2. This is the second generation of Adonit Snap, which is a fine point stylus designed for iOS devices. This is set to support iPhone 6 all the way up to the new iPhones, the ones with the notch. Let's do a very quick unboxing to see what you get in this box. So this is the stylus. There's this piece of metal here. You're supposed to stick this small flat piece of metal to the back of your phone so that you can snap the stylus to it. So when this is on the back of the phone, you can just snap your stylus onto it, and this will let you have access to your stylus all the time at the back of your phone. Behind this cardboard is the USB charging cable. This is micro USB, which goes to the back of the stylus, and this is the usual USB port. The design is very compact. This actually reminds me of those flat pieces of chewing gum. This is very flat, and it's very lightweight, but the construction, the build quality, it feels very solid. This stylus is available in 3 different colors. There's the green, there's the pink, and there's the black. The metallic surface has a matte texture to it. It's really nice to hold. That's the power button, which doubles up as a remote when you are taking photos, and that's the light indicator. That's the 1.9mm tip. There is some texture on it, so this provides extra friction and gives you a bit more control when you are writing and drawing with it. To use the stylus, you have to turn it on first by pressing the button. The battery life is supposed to last 10 to 12 hours. Now, this stylus supports iOS devices, so if you're using iPhones or iPads, it should work. I have already paired my stylus with the iPad. You do not need to pair it with your iOS devices in order to use it for writing or drawing. But if you do pair it, you have the additional feature of being able to take photographs using this button, which works as a remote. Bluetooth pairing is very simple. Just click the button again and the name of the device should show up, and just select it and it should be connected. To take photos with the stylus, with the remote, you have to open up the camera app first. This is the camera app on the iPad, and to take a photo you just have to press the button once. It will take 1 photo. If you press and hold the button, it would take 3 photos in a burst. The photo taking feature is only available on iOS. If you're using an Android phone, you can still use the stylus, just that you will not have access to the photo taking feature. So here I have with me is my Android phone. Let's test out the writing experience. Alright, the writing experience is actually quite nice. That's because of the textured tip. It has the additional friction when writing on glass, and it's not that slippery, so it has good control when writing. This stylus does not support pressure sensitivity and palm rejection. So the thin and thick lines that you see here, they are actually determined by the app. This is actually the writing style of the app. So for quick lines like this, the line is going to be thick. For slow lines, the line is going to be thin. And there is no palm rejection, so there is no way for you to rest your palm while writing. This is not so much of a problem if you are using a phone, because most of the time you may be holding your phone like this and writing, so you're not really resting your hand on the screen. But if you are using a tablet, then you have to make a more conscious effort to lift up your palm, to lift up your hand while you're writing. And now let's test the writing ability on iOS. Writing performance here is actually better compared to Android. I can see that it's able to capture my handwriting more accurately. There are some misalignment issues with the iPad. Okay, now the iPad is in horizontal orientation, and I'm using the pen like this, with the pen sort of horizontal, just like the iPad. So I'm going to draw some straight lines. Now the lines, they appear as if they are directly beneath the tip, which is good. But when I turn my pen in this direction, in this angle, can you see the misalignment? Let me just rotate the pen again. can you see where the line is coming from? It's to the side of the pen tip. So when I'm using the iPad horizontally, I need to use the pen horizontally as well in order to avoid the misalignment. If I use it like this, for example, if the iPad is in portrait orientation and I'm using it like this, then I'm going to get the misalignment. Let me show you again. Pay attention to where the line appears beneath the tip. I'm going to change the angle of the pen. And now it appears the line is directly beneath the tip. This is the iPad Pro. The performance of the iPad Pro is better compared to the iPad non-Pro, and the iPad non-Pro is better compared to that on the Android phone. Here the iPad Pro is able to capture my handwriting really well. There is still some misalignment, but it's not as obvious compared to the iPad non-Pro. So the performance of this stylus will depend on the app and the device that you are using. By the way, this app that I'm using, this is Wacom Bamboo Paper. There's another problem that I encountered on the iPad non-Pro. So notice as I'm trying to draw some vertical lines, I get broken lines, and sometimes the lines, they do not appear. I have narrowed down the problem to Bluetooth. So when I turn off the Bluetooth, the performance somehow is better, but still I get the occasional broken lines or the missing lines. I get the broken line problem on the iPad Pro as well. Both are running iOS 12.1, so you see there's one missing line here and one broken line here. On the Android phone, there is absolutely no issues at all with broken lines or missing lines. Unfortunately, I do not have an iPhone, so I cannot show you how the stylus actually works on it. But I did went down to Apple Store to test the stylus on their iPhones. So this screenshot that you are looking at, this is from the iPhone XR. I was only able to use the default Notes app, and this was what I wrote. The stylus and the Notes app were not able to capture my handwriting accurately. You can see that the lines, they are quite wobbly, they are very loose, very jiggly, wiggly. This is not good. This is not good compared to other styluses that I have tried. But that's not the biggest problem. The bigger problem is when the tip is close to the screen without touching the screen. When you move the tip around, it would actually create a stroke. So this stylus, it can create a stroke without the tip touching the screen when it's close enough. And that is quite awkward to use. When you are writing, you have to make a conscious effort to lift the pen tip a bit higher than usual to avoid it creating unwanted strokes. So that earlier screenshot was from the iPhone XR. This one that you are looking at right now is from the iPhone XS, and the performance is no different. So when you're drawing, when you're writing, you can get jiggly lines, and this is more obvious when you're drawing diagonal lines slowly. This is not good. This is not good at all. To conclude, I'm quite surprised that this stylus actually works better on the Android phone and the iPads compared to the iPhones that I have tested, which is really weird because this stylus, the Adonit Snap 2, was designed for the iPhone. Now, of course, the apps that you use will matter a lot, but even with the default Notes app, if the stylus is good, it should perform decently, but that is not the case with the iPhone. And the issue with the stylus making a line without the pen tip even touching the screen, that makes it a bit awkward to use, and it's prone to creating stray strokes and makes your handwriting a bit more wobbly as well. If you do want to buy this stylus, I highly recommend you check out other reviews, especially reviews that feature the same note-taking apps that you use, because performance really depends a lot on the apps that you use. Now, I probably wouldn't recommend this stylus, but I would recommend you check out other Adonit styluses. There's one that is quite alright. That's the Adonit Dash 3. You may want to check that out. I have a review for that as well on my blog and YouTube channel. Links are in the video description below. That is all I have to say about Adonit Snap 2. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I hope this video is helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye!